let's begin. Closing our eyes, sitting comfortably, breathing, releasing the breath, allowing the flow of love to come, be in our presence and be in us, flowing through us, connecting to all that there is to share. Begin. Thank you. All right, this is a new setup.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Yeah.
Just whether the microphone's there or not, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out. Yep.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah,
Okay,
good.
so I was gonna get used to we watching this or we watching each other. So I think we're gonna watch the screen because that's where you are.
Yeah.
And
We'll bounce
see
back.
how
We'll
that
just see
works.
how it flows.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be like this all night.
New year, new us.
Go on my God. Yeah. So we are
Lots
thinking,
happened in 3
yeah.
weeks.
Oof.
So it's been 3 weeks since our last episode was recorded. And we've had Christmas, we've had New Year's. So here we are back making another recording.
Yay. And I've missed it. Oh my
Me too.
days.
I love
The importance of like support in a space of like non-judgment, and how just letting words just flow.
Yeah.
And not having to be cautious of what you say or say it, just and being in that space of just pure
fun.
Yeah.
Lightness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Flow. Yeah. So we briefly saw each other yesterday.
Yes.
For a few minutes, and I was telling you, I am not the same person I was before. I have had so much awareness and so much, I feel, expansion and understanding have happened over those 3 weeks. And I packed a lot in those 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Growth is just beautiful.
Yeah.
And like as we touched on yesterday, when how I don't know how many episodes we've released now, but over the course of those few weeks of how our opinions, our belief systems have changed. And that's so fun. It's like what we once thought was right, or what felt right once for us, no longer feels right for us.
But it was right in that time, for how we believed based on what we were able to absorb from the information. Because I know that information is in layers, and you can understand something on a different layer, based on what you're able to allow in for your understanding. And then when you really understood that, it's allowing another layer to kind of come in to say, okay, well, here's a little bit more. And I really believe that it's not layering, it's like unlayering. It's letting go of the beliefs that were stacked up on all these beliefs of who we thought we were. And I think too that the 3 weeks and how much I feel the expansion has happened within me. And I can only speak for myself, which is why I'm saying me. The expansion has happened because we're in a time of accelerated learning. We're in a time of accelerated understanding. And I believe that's why I was kind of feeling the need to do this, because it's so vital that people can see it's okay that you don't believe what you did last week.
Yes.
It's okay that your perspective based on what's happened in your life has changed that.
And all our experiences are completely different.
100%.
So even though we experience Christmas Day the exact same, completely different
experience because we're not the same person.
Absolutely. But what I really learned over that whole period was to not take on other people's shit.
Yeah.
Their shit is not your shit.
Unless it is.
Yeah.
Because here's something to consider. Everything that's in your reality, you have attracted for a reason.
Mm.
And so it's important to know, if you want to know, why is that in my life?
Yeah. I think for me, it was kind of when the experience unraveled, eh, I didn't want, I felt a lot of anger come up and frustration. And when I was feeling that, like, I'm so grateful, everything is perfect, because I was so grateful that you guys were there, because it wouldn't went this smoothly because I don't know if I was able to just drop down into that space, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
That was perfect. That was how it was
absolutely,
supposed to be.
absolutely. So
There was reason for that.
it was allowing myself to take myself to the observer side of my life, where don't react to what's happening, just observe it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not, I had a choice to, everything's a choice, but I had a choice whether how I was going to react, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's been open to receiving that as well, being open
Yes.
to
Keeping yourself
yeah,
open to what's presenting itself. So because we experienced the same experience, same thing,
yeah,
we experienced it differently. And we saw it differently based on how we can understand why it's there. So I walked away asking myself, why is that in my life? And I got an answer, because you will always get an answer every time you ask. But your answer of why it's in your life would be different than my answer. Two totally different reasons why that's in our lives.
Yeah. I completely didn't, like, I let that go, Stevens' Day.
Okay.
I was just like, because my dear friend crossed over, right? So I think that was a lot more in my vortex, the experience that happened on Christmas. So I kind of just wanted to let my heart feel the attachment we have to a physical form, really.
Yeah.
But also to trust that life isn't here to hurt you.
That's right.
God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, it's not intentionally out here hurting us.
No.
It's just how we are choosing to
interpret
it.
So we have been given choice on how we interpret life, and how we interpret life is serving us. So it's really important to understand, why did I ask that to be in my life? What is that giving me? How is that serving me? And when I say serving, I mean serving is it is doing something for you. It is either triggering you in a negative way, or it's triggering you in a positive way. Now, the positive way is good. The negative way is the way. Now, in saying this, I want to be clear that negative energy is purposeful. It is intended to help us and guide us. And so it is to be embraced and loved, not to be ignored and pushed aside. The negative traits that we deem negative are there showing us our beliefs, because the negativity is felt in the body, and that's purposeful. And because our body is our guide in this life. So when we feel good, we're actually more in alignment with our higher purpose, our higher self, because that's the feeling, the energy of. When we're feeling negative, it's to show us there's a belief that's stopping us from experiencing the joy of who we really are. So it's really good to stop and say, what is it that I am believing right now that's making me feel bad? And I actually learned a process over these 3 weeks that's really helped me. Whereas I'll write down the belief, that's my trigger. Like, I think it's my trigger. Okay, this is what I think is my trigger. This is what happened. And then I write down all of the beliefs about that support it, right? So say, I'm trying to think of something that's not real, so this might not come across right, but say I dropped a glass of hot drink in a cafe and I made a big spectacle of myself.
Spectacle.
And so I would write that down, like I wasn't happy with that experience. So I'm going to write that experience down. And then I'm going to ask myself, why wasn't I happy about that? Because it made a scene. I looked vulnerable. Other people were looking at me. So all of these are beliefs that are stopping you from feeling and knowing your true self of love, bliss, happiness.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a process. I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
oh, sorry. That works.
Wow.
So I sat down with a few things that happened over the 3 weeks and it was like, yeah, these are just beliefs. And as soon as you put a light on them, you realize you don't have to believe them anymore. They lose power.
And it's like, wow, it just reminded me of this. It was like, I had a belief system that I couldn't eat cheese. That cheese, my skin didn't like cheese. Yeah, my skin.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so I can't eat cheese. What do you believe about it? My skin
doesn't
breaks
like
out.
it. Yeah.
What else?
My stomach is
My
unhappy.
stomach is unhappy. What else? Anything else?
No, it was just more physical
Those are just
beliefs.
Stop. That's just stopping you from eating cheese.
Yeah, and I love cheese because it all happened over Christmas, and I was like, no, I really enjoy eating cheese, so I'm going to eat cheese. Like, I love cheese. And then I was like, well, every mouthful that I'm taking, I'm like,
you're thinking that.
I'm going to have
and so
acne
what
or
happens
whatever.
because when you think that way, the universe says, okay,
There you go, yeah.
there you go. Let's break out your skin and let's whatever. Let's make your stomach upset. Because that's what you believe. And the universe does not go against what you believe. You always get what you believe. That's why when you sit down and you look at this is what I believe. Do I really want this? No. Absolutely. Then you just what do I want to believe? So that's the second part of that process that I learned. What instead do I want to believe? That cheese is good. Cheese is tasty. Cheese makes me happy. So
yeah, I really love that concept. That is
process. It's a tool.
Yeah, a tool, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's so funny, like we fall into this trap of thinking that all of our healing modalities, need to be like so far fetched out there, hugging trees, crystals.
Yeah.
It's what allows you to break it down.
So it's a permission slip. I believe I need this tea to get rid of the toxins in my body. I've given this tea as my permission slip to release toxins.
Intention, everything.
We're doing it all the time.
Absolutely. But no, I'll keep going back to the cheese because the cheese was really like, and I was taking the joy away from being present with the cheese because
you were worried about
because I was worried about how it was gonna unfold.
Yeah.
And I connected with a very dear sister of mine yesterday, and we sat in a space for about 2.5 hours, and we just spoke. We just kept speaking. Everything unraveled, and then by being in that space of just talking, there was no expectations, no nothing. We realized, holy shit, we were trying to control a situation because from our previous experiences. And we were predicting how the situation was going to unfold because we've been helped before all this. Because we were attaching ourselves to these stories. And then all of a sudden we were like, fuck it in the fucking bucket and just surrender. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I put myself through 3 days of misery because I was trying to predict how a situation was going to. It didn't even feel right for me to say that.
But your feelings are your indicator. As soon as you feel that you're going down a negative rabbit hole, that's when you stop because they're not serving you, or they're serving you for you to see that this is a tendency I have. I have a tendency of going down a negative rabbit hole. So pay attention to the physical body. We were given these things for a reason, not just because we're human, they were just happenstance. No, everything has a reason, everything has a purpose.
And it's common to love that this body. Like I everybody goes through it of love-hate relationship with their body. And the belief system I have as well is the current cycles that women are in. So depending on what phase we're in, we love and hate ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's important to acknowledge the thought that you're having, but bringing back to that feeling, does it feel right for you to stand in front of that mirror and say, "Oh my God,
No,
exactly." So
stop it.
Well, it's observing that. It's observing on, okay, that's not the truth. So stop believing that. You know,
well, it's an option. You can
Yeah,
choose that, and you're only going to get more of what you've decided you want.
Yeah.
So if you are into not liking your body, you will only see all those things you don't like. So is it serving you? Well, yeah, until you realize that's what you're doing, and then it's no longer serving you, so it's changing.
Bucket in the bucket bucket.
Bucket in the bucket.
I
like the bucket.
Yeah, no, it came to me yesterday and I was like, but it's so funny because on the 1st of January, I was in a space with my mom and we were meditating. And all this kept coming to me was speak with love, speak with love, speak with love. And like, I said to my mom that I didn't want to be involved in something that's happening. But I said it from a place of love. I wasn't expecting her to lose her shit. I wasn't expecting her to take it the wrong way because it was coming from a space of love.
Yeah. But even if it did, even if she did react, as long as you've come from that space of love, you would have felt that disconnect of her reaction.
Absolutely. And like, that was a really thing for me on the first was speak it love, speak it love. Like because when you're in this state of that love vibration, that's only going to come back to you. You know, we're all just mirroring that vibration that we're at. And then I was like, oh, speak it love, that's sweet. And then yesterday it was fucking the fucking bucket. And then I was even yesterday I was like, I felt the need to stop cursing like during another phase of myself.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, it's an expression when I speak. And I get that. Like, but then it goes back to intention. If I'm intentionally calling you a curse word or calling a situation, it's completely different. Well, I'm like, fuck it, it's fun, you know, it's light. It's making light of a situation. And so again, it all comes back to intention. But that was really important for me yesterday because I was like, oh, wait a minute, like that's fun. And then I was like, okay, it's your intention behind everything.
100%.
Yeah.
But and then intention behind things. So we don't necessarily think that way, especially in the beginning when you're just realizing, hey, I have more of a role in this life than I originally thought. But you are the only one deciding what's on that script. You're the only one deciding what you wrote in your drama. So and you can put intention into everything if you so choose to have it work for you. So people have an issue with water. Water is 70% of our body, 70% of the earth. There's a reason those two things coincide. And water carries vibration. So people have an issue over the water that comes out of the tap, which is fine. I have learned, because it doesn't serve me to have the fear in me about water that comes out of the tap. I have learned that every time I fill up my water bottle, that the water is purified, it's blessed, and it's highly energized to help and assist my body. And I say that every single time I fill up my water bottle. And it is purified, blessed, and highly energized. And so you can do that with everything.
I've seen something on social media, and it said like people speak into their cup or into
Yes.
their thing, and
Yeah.
do it. It's fantastic. But believe and
Yes.
feel.
We do not realize how magical we are as beings. We, as a society, I'm a new person, so I'm gonna start talking about shit that I was like, maybe I will. No. I am now. It's my passion. So we give control of our lives to adults, to others, and to this entity we call God. And what do you think when I say God? What does that word conjure in you?
God is just, it's me, it's you, it's everything. It's magic.
Yeah.
It's just magic.
So for me, originally God was a man in the clouds or in heaven, and he was controlling what was going on in my life, which meant I have no power. I'm a powerless being on this planet. Pretty much, why am I existing? Right? So as a young person, that was my belief on God. And so I had this question constantly in my head: why am I here? This is too hard. Why am I here? I don't want to do this anymore. If I'm just a puppet, or I'm just doing this haphazardly and somebody else is deciding this for me, this is not worth it. I don't want to do this anymore. And that was my mantra through my young life. And I think consequently, I had a lot of judgment towards things because I wanted to be good in the eyes of God, but I didn't know really what that is, because it's not a cut and dry thing. Oh, it's the 12 or 10 commandments. But
I don't know.
it's the commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt. Okay, but those are really just conscious living ideas that people don't want to do to each other if you're really living in the moment. So the reason why I bring up this idea of God is because it's time for us to shift that prehistoric idea, because it is prehistoric. It is the cave ages idea. You can believe in whatever you want, but if you're listening to this, there's a reason. God isn't, I don't like that word just because automatically I go back to this man in the sky. So I choose to say source because it is where we're all from. It isn't, it is in you, this, there, that everything is alive and conscious and aware. Everything with no exception is alive and aware. And to me, that's source. That's where we come from. That's what we are. And it's time to expand and break out of these old ideas that we're carrying around that aren't serving us. When you think of God and you get this shitty feeling in your gut because it's not serving you. How does it feel when you think that God or source is all that there ever is, that you could ever think it to be, good and bad, because it's the experience. How does that feel versus the man in the sky? Does the man in the sky feel better? Because if the man in the sky feels better, then that's what still serves you. That's okay.
I mean, when I was younger, I used to be like, oh, I'm atheist. Because I had that vision of God being this Catholic who told you how to live and wasn't against a certain minority of people, and we were all separate and all this. But my brother said, do you believe in God? And I said no. And then Sin just turned up, she says, well, you believe in angels? And I said, well, that just fucked up my head. I was like, it makes so much sense. It's all of this it's just like another deity. It's like Kali the goddess, it's Mother
Mm.
Earth, Father Sky. They're all just deities that
Represent the one.
exactly
Yeah.
align us to our higher selves. And
What's your higher self, Amy?
God, source, universe.
Yes, but so if source is everything,
Mm.
and I believe it is, like it's in the particles,
Mhm.
it is the particle. Is the particle you, your higher self?
The particle is all of me. But I suppose in my head, my higher self is the stages of consciousness.
Mm.
So it's breaking past these belief systems or getting new belief, letting go and getting new belief systems and just keeping in that cycle to get to that state of pure joy.
Yeah.
Just connecting back to that
So that's the feeling of source is pure joy, and your higher self is also the feeling of pure joy. And that's when I keep referring to it's a thought that doesn't serve me or it's a thought that serves me, I'm referring to if it feels not good, it doesn't serve me, but it serves me. So I'm wrong in saying that it doesn't serve me because it does serve me, because it's given me an indicator that I have a belief that's stopping me from fully experiencing my full joy because I feel yucky. So I shouldn't be saying it doesn't serve me. All thoughts serve you. Do you want it to serve you in your love expression, your joy expression? And if not, then it's only showing you what you need to clear in order to get there.
And I also, we, for example, I was feeling a lot of anger
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I don't want to feel this anger. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. But when I tried so hard to figure out why I was feeling that emotion, I couldn't figure it out. And I was getting more frustrated because I couldn't figure it out. So when I just surrendered and let go, it was kind of like, okay, you've experienced this, this anger came up, but the anger is just as valid as you feeling the joy you felt yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's not putting a bad or good or any emotion, but it's tricky. It's not tricky, it's just contradicting or something because we're saying feel it joy, and if you're not feeling joy, then let it go. But
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the negative is serving you because it's showing you that you have a belief that isn't allowing you to feel your joy. That's why it's important to know what the belief is or the thought is behind that emotion, because there's always thought behind an emotion.
yeah.
And if you're not ready to see it, your answer will be, I don't know what that is. And don't keep hitting it until you're really ready or able or wanting to look at it. There could be a variety of reasons why.
Yeah. And I feel like because I didn't figure out why I was being angry either. And I just know that it didn't feel nice for me to sit there and try to figure it out because
and so you let it go.
yeah.
And so that's another thing is I don't necessarily need to know why. It's understanding the thought behind it and knowing why to me is different. Because why is like trying to get to the root of where that belief come from. And you don't really need to know why. Just, is there a belief connected to this anger? Is there a belief connected to whatever it is that you're feeling in your life? Okay, there is a belief.
Yeah, it's a belief.
Yeah.
Because I was getting angry because I couldn't fix it.
Yeah.
But I had the belief that I need to fix everything.
Yeah.
But it's none of my business to fix somebody else.
But let's move. Okay, so your anger was stemmed. I got angry because I realized I can't fix this situation. What else do you believe about that? Why does that make you angry that you can't fix it?
Because I want to help.
Because you're a helper. Why else?
I just felt useless. I felt like I hated seeing that person hurt.
Okay, you are sensitive to others' hurts.
Yes.
Deeply sensitive to others' hurts.
Mm.
What else? Any others?
Mm.
It really works when you write it down
Yeah.
because then you can see your beliefs written down and then you realize, okay, I don't have to believe that anymore. And it takes the anger out of it or whatever that emotion was that was supporting the thought. And then you turn it around. So now that I know that that's not true, what can I now believe about what that situation presented itself for? And it presented it for you to have the experience of being closer to your joy. But you need to you don't need to do anything, but you can. It's giving you the opportunity to look at that situation and figure out what the truth of that is, or what's the support that will give you your joy. So, yeah, very, very, very helpful. I
love that.
I really feel powerful. Like right now, this is an amazing time to be alive. I chose now to be alive for this reason because I knew, like I didn't consciously know, but now that I know what I know, I knew that this would give me a lot of joy to be alive right now.
And I feel like there is like this huge shift happening. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I'm alive now. And there's a speed. There's a speed and understanding and getting it. And here's what and this is another thing I realized is the more you get it, the more you're given to get it. That's so great. It's like, yeah, you got it. You're smart. It's like, oh.
Yeah. And it's just that process of surrendering.
Yeah, and working through the beliefs that are holding you back from the joy. Because we're here for the joy. We're here the joy isn't why we're here. It's the feeling that gives us the vibration in our body. So when I say joy, that vibration that joy gives you, why we're here. Because it's reaching us up to a higher level. It's expanding our awareness and it's allowing us to see others, other things, other awarenesses, and other ideas. I'm so happy you chose to be alive this time. Me too. All right, so I feel like this was like a previous life before that I was a life coach. I was a coach in helping individuals through Ayurvedic medicine. And I loved coaching others. I loved assisting. At that time, it was more in the health area, like naturally healing the body. Absolutely loved doing that. So I had my own clinic here in Ireland. And I haven't done it really since. I've done a few friends, coached them. This is what this time is on this planet right now, is to connect more towards who you are. And you connect through finding your joy, understanding the thoughts that are blocking or the beliefs that are blocking that joy and working through and processing. And because those beliefs are there for a reason, they're purposeful. They've served you to this point. Now we're moving up in energy. Humans on this planet are increasing their energy individually. So it's time to release old habits, old beliefs that feel shitty.
So is your goal or intention is to just guide people back to that?
Yes, yeah. That, oh my God, that makes me so excited. very excited to to put that out there.
Mm.
I don't really know how I'm going to put that out there just yet, but yes.
Like people back home.
Yeah, essentially. But not only that, there's no end to their discovery. So it's to let them know that this is an ongoing evolution as long as they're in a physical body, and even beyond that, they will continue to understand and learn who they are. And it's embracing that and loving it and feeling the joy in it, that process.
I feel, because I used to always say, I used to always feel the need to run away from home, home being Ireland, New Zealand, because I didn't have home within me. I didn't feel safe within me. Have, I just didn't feel love inside of me. And I thought I could find it elsewhere in external roles. So I always felt the need to just go new places, be happy, and then when I wasn't happy, move on. Never actually to sit to what feels right for me. And only recently, when I was away during the summer, I was like, I can't wait to go home. I'm really excited to be at home. And then I just had the realization of home is here.
Yeah.
In this space of love. I mightn't feel it tomorrow, but for right now, this space of I feel safe in my body. It feels safe to be my authentic self.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where on the world I am. So home isn't. Initially, I wasn't running away from this environment. I was running away from
Yourself.
myself. So when I was guided back home, to me, home is anywhere.
Yeah.
Home
doesn't have to be a place.
It doesn't have to be a place.
You could feel at home in the travel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like we had actually mentioned before, I actually feel like travel helps you, it breaks habits, it breaks routine, and it makes you look at things differently, because different cultures have different habits or different ways of being, and it's nice to be exposed to those different ways to see, oh, is that something I'd like to, does that feel like something I'd like to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So travel can do that for you as well, expose you to. But it's good that you felt that. I recently understood that we're drawn to places that we resonate with. And right now, I'm so resonating with Ireland. Like, I'm so loving being here. So, yeah, so it's interesting that you will be drawn to the places that you resonate with. And when you're done with that place, or you've changed so much that you're no longer resonating with that place, you'll naturally move.
Yeah.
And that's okay too.
And it makes sense. Like, because I loved where I was, but I just felt a need for change. And I think I wanted to experience Ireland in this new mindset as well.
Yeah.
No longer.
It's not about the place.
Yeah.
It's about how you see the place.
And also how I see myself, because it's been reflected in the place, you know?
Yeah. Well, it is all about you.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It is. It literally, our lives are all about us individually. Yeah. Because we're the ones out here is the reflection of in here. So that's how you know how well you're doing in here, not how well. There's no good or right or wrong. The beautiful part about our existence is that we do see right and wrong, but there really isn't a right or wrong. And all situations are neutral. We give them meaning based on how we view it. So out here is your reflection of what's going on in here. So if this isn't what you want it to be, then you change it in here.
So that be reflected out.
Yeah, but don't change it in here so that you can see it out there. That's not how it works. But if that's your intention, oh, I'll change myself so I'll see my BMW. That's not gonna work. So you have to change the inside for the sake of feeling better. Period.
Period.
We'll stop. We'll stop.
Yeah.
All right, so we are gonna close this episode up and we will be back next week. So thank you, Amy, for this session.
Thank you for holding space.
And we shall see you all again. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Bye.